Hello everyone, my name is Cecil Scott, and welcome to another one of my reaction videos. Today we're going to be reacting to a show as I normally like to do on YouTube, whether it be anime or tokusatsu or something else, but at the beginning of every single one of my reaction videos you're going to see this little video is going to play as a disclaimer to you, the viewer. A lot of people on YouTube like to do reaction videos and put the footage of whatever they're watching in their actual video. They'll do little tricks to sort of distort it, whether it be brightening it or making it transparent or playing with the volume, all sorts of little tricks that they do to try and put the footage from whatever they're watching in their video so you can follow along with them, but they can also avoid a copyright claim or strike. I personally choose to not put footage from whatever I'm reacting to in my videos. Instead, what you're going to see is we're going to have a handy timer in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, and that timer is going to be there so you can follow along with where I'm at in whatever I'm watching. So all I ask you to do in my reaction videos as the viewer is to just pull up whatever we're watching on your own screen and just sort of format it however you like, wherever you want to put it, so that you can watch me alongside with what we're watching, and that way I can avoid the risk of copyright claims or strikes and having my channel taken down, and you as the viewer can watch the episode of whatever we're watching in its full unedited glory, and we can enjoy the show together. If that's something that you don't vibe with and you'd rather watch a reactor that puts the footage into their actual reaction videos from whatever we're watching, or if you want somebody who doesn't like stop and pause, because I do that too, I'll stop the video and you'll see the timer will stay where it is while we talk about something that I have a thought I want to share. I'm never going to take offense to you going and watching somebody else's reaction channel, whether they have a different style of reacting or they just put the footage in. You're never going to offend me. The only thing that will ever offend me is if you comment on my videos saying that I should put the footage into my videos. I have done this in the past and it has not worked out for me, and it is not a risk that I'm willing to take as a content creator, so all I ask you to do as the viewer is to respect that wish and decision and to just pull up the episode on your own screen however you choose to do so you can follow along with me. That being said, I hope you enjoyed today's reaction video. Hello everyone, Cecil Scott here again, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're going to be doing episode 2 of Kamen Rider Gotchard, and since you've already gotten through the disclaimer at the beginning of this video, I'm going to assume that you've already gone ahead and gotten yourself set up to watch the episode on your own screen. I'm already set up and ready to go, so we're just going to get right into it today. I am very excited. I really liked episode 1 of the series, and I've been thinking about it quite a bit since we watched episode 1, so I am ready to get into episode 2 today and see where that takes us, and see what happens next on Ichinosei's journey as the Kamen Rider Gotchard. But yeah, like I said, I'm all set up. Hopefully you are as well, so let's go ahead and get this shebang started with the reaction to episode 2 of Kamen Rider Gotchard in... Let me maximize my screen here. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, they just flat out told us he was guided by Kudo Fuga. And he's an alchemist, so they told us this now. That's interesting. That was not told to us during the episode itself. The Alchemist Academy. That is so Japan. What, going to school isn't enough? Going to school and after-school cram school isn't enough? Try going to 2 schools! I'll die laughing if he says, I'm gonna write Kamen Rider! Uh-oh, she's gonna have an objection, I bet. She's gonna be like, he can't! He's too dumb! I'm calling it now. Oh, shit, here we go. Here's the intro. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna cover my ears and my fingers just because I have had an experience with this actually in the past when I used to do anime reactions years ago. When I first started on YouTube, where even though I don't show the footage in my videos, my microphone was able to pick up audio from my headphones, and I had actually gotten a copyright strike for the audio of like a theme song of an anime one time. So I'm very careful. I don't take too many chances when it comes to copyright strike. You guys are going to find out. Like, I have to even be careful with my lighting because there's been times years ago, I'm talking like 9, 10 years ago, where I had a copyright strike just because I hadn't cleaned my glasses that day and the lighting was weird, and you could actually see the reflection of the screen on my glasses, so I got a video copyright strike. YouTube, it does not play around, and there's a lot of companies out there, especially when it comes to anime, that are actually pretty lax, so you could probably get away with having your footage done in your videos, like some reactors do. Oh, that was cool. I saw like another Kamen Rider character, but it looked like a villain. Some dude with a purple sword, apparently. Okay, we've got spoilers right in the opening. But yeah, companies like Toei, who have the rights to Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and One Piece and Slam Dunk and Dragon, they do not fuck around, you guys. Gold Dash? Is that it? Are these Skebows? Skebows Gold Dash. I'm gonna write those down because I have a feeling those are gonna be like the chemis of the episode. I know we saw the skateboard one in a preview specifically, so I wonder why he has a red ring and like the red arrow markings for his alchemy when Kudo has the blue ring. I wonder if it's just like a signifier of rank, because the inside lining of his cape is still blue. Okay, and there's that symbol again for their organization. It is interesting, though, that it forms a triangle, because we know that Atropos, that thing she uses, is like the two triangles at once to create sort of that diamond-shaped thing she uses. Okay, cool. So this is the Alchemy Academy's classroom. Wait, what? What do you mean? Okay. I wonder if she knows, Oh, wait a minute! Wait! Shit. Okay, let me finish him talking. Okay, we're pausing right at the 4-minute, 45-second mark. So, I just realized something, you guys. So, because in the intro, when they recapped the first episode, they flat out told us Kudo Fuga, the alchemist, is the one who gave Ichinose his Gotchard driver and the power to, like, harness the chemis. But it didn't even click in my head that her name is also Kudo. That's the family name. He's totally going to be related to her. Watch it be like her dad or her uncle or something like that. He's too young to be a grandpa and obviously not a brother or something like that. That's why she's just like, you didn't catch it. Minato's like, you didn't catch his name, did you? And she's like, you don't need to. She knows. This is going to be like some personal vendetta. I bet you this is also probably why she doesn't like chemis and why she was so confrontational in the first episode when Hopper 1 and Steamliner came to grab Ichinose, because he was like chosen or selected to inherit the Gotchard driver from Kudo Fuga, sorry. I got to remember the last name first. When you're referencing Japanese names. But that is, yeah, that's a little crazy. Look at her. She almost looks pissed just knowing, like, she's like, I know who it is. The stank-ass motherfucker. Like, I'm waiting for her to get into it. Okay, here we go. So now we're getting a little bit of development on her, hopefully. Because he's definitely related to her somehow, because they have the same family name. But before I jump the gun, let's just get into it and watch more. Yeah, Kudo, there we go. He's a traitor! Okay, 10 years ago. Whoa! Okay, so the Alchemist Academy was protecting the 101 chemis. It was like they were like in their possession, and he took them out of the academy and left and just bounced. Well, there had to have been a reason for it. She didn't mention a reason. Wait a minute. The Alchemist's Great Journey. The Alchemist of Dawn. Oh, wait, that's him! It's totally her dad. Rin. So is that her first name, Rin? Kudo Rin? Oh shit, okay, here's a new Kemi. I didn't even catch its name. Ah! Okay, that's good acting. Odoripa. Okay. To change their weights. That is very good acting. That is very convincing. Like, I totally bought that. Do you know what I mean? I was able to suspend disbelief that a fucking paper card weighed that much. I just have to say, I think I mentioned this in the first episode, but I love the design of their little, like, cafe shop here. It is so friggin' cute. I love the set design. It's so well done. And I love their logo! Now they're talking about his dad. Yeah, I'm calling it now. There's something more to this. Oh, she's friggin' adorable. I love the mom. Oh, here we go. Kids with skateboards. Okay, we're gonna get into it with the Kemi. And there's Kajiki. I wonder if what he's got in his hands is like an actual publication or if it's something they made. Chojo Wakusei. That was actually the name on the magazine. So that was what he was reading. Because he's clearly a big occult fan. I'm going to write that down so I can look it up later. So there's the Skebow. See, it's very playful. Like, it just wants to play with the kids and have fun showing off as a skateboard to these kids. I don't think that the Kemis are inherently bad. Although I guess we'll see when we watch different episodes if, like, some of them have different temperaments. Clearly they're dangerous, but I don't think they're inherently bad. They come across as being more playful so far. Oh, this kid's about to become super popular. I wonder what sort of stunt kid they found to do this stuff. Okay. What the hell's happening? Okay, we've got, like, bank robbers? Wait, so are these, like... Are they in league with, like, Achapos and Kloto and... Wait... So we know in the first episode they said there was a rule, which is that there's two rules so far. One is that they're not supposed to come into contact with human malice, and the other one is that any contact or records of Kemis is supposed to be erased. But now it's like possessed like it's bad, like it's evil, like it's eyes. It's like the spots where it looked like eyes were like purple. And it had like a demonic almost voice to it. Interesting. I wonder why she's helping him. Well, she's not really helping him so far, but... Okay, never mind. She is. She's flat out telling him the technique he needs to use to pass. Mass exchange. But he doesn't have a ring, so he can't do that. So I wonder why Minato would give him a test, knowing he can't pass it without alchemy, but he doesn't have a ring and can't use alchemy. Okay, so yes, these are the classic interpretations of alchemy, just brought to a little bit more extreme. As from the one are all things born. It's interesting because it's like they're saying it's not magic, that it's alchemy, but it's clearly a more magical interpretation of alchemy, if that makes sense. Like in alchemy, the way that I've always seen it represented in fantasy and fiction is that there's some sort of equal exchange. Yeah, she's saying it's closer to science, but that's not really science. That was more magic, making a whole fucking playground float. Oh, okay, shit, that was jarring. Okay, so the chemis are born from very rare sort of genius miracle reactions in alchemy. So now we're getting more lore on how they're actually created. Although I don't feel like she went into very much specifics. Oh, shit! Okay, we've got murder! Whoa, what? What? Okay, that was freaky. Okay, we're getting into it. I want to pause, but they're telling us more. I want to finish this. Amalgam. So she just learned this term yesterday. A chemi that becomes a monster. And the Abyssalis sisters, okay? But she didn't go into any detail about them. She just gave them the name. There's countless humans overflow with malice. Okay, so even the monsters, like, transforming back and forth between, like, the raw chemi, like, CGI form. Okay, that is a lot of money. Alchemist clans. So there's different clans of alchemists. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause right here at the 14-minute mark. So, okay, let me write that down really quickly just so I can remember from my notes. So that was a lot of information to take in. I'm actually really happy that here we are, episode 2, and we're getting a lot of lore and backstory, but they seem to have it down, at least my impression from the first episode into the second episode, is that the show's writers really know the perfect amount of restraint to show, where instead of just lore dumping you with a lot of stuff, even though it felt like a lot, they're actually giving you just enough to always manage and still leave you asking a lot of questions and wanting a lot more, if that makes any sense. I mean, we just learned a lot. We saw a flashback, like, starting back even to the first pause that I made. In, like, the last 10 minutes, we have seen that the alchemist who gave Ichinose the Gotchard driver was actually Rin's father, that he's disappeared. We knew he was an alchemist as part of the Alchemist Academy. They were the ones who were originally protecting the 101 chemis, and they were sealed in the cards. The decision was made, even more lore behind, before the chemis were even sealed, through different alchemy clans. We know there's clans of alchemists that are, like, differing, but they all sort of work together, I'm guessing, maybe under the branch of the Alchemist Academy or something. Maybe it's similar to, like, how, I hate to use this analogy, but how Hogwarts incorporates different students from all over the world, although there are different, magic schools in Harry Potter. But it seems like, there's different factions almost almost, but they all sort of adhere to the same laws. That's actually a better way to compare it, is like maybe the alchemy clans in this series are similar to how the different schools and regions of magic all follow the same laws as the Ministry of Magic in like the Harry Potter series, for example. And we're learning that there's this book that he used to read to her called The Alchemist's Journey, and the protagonist was somebody called the Alchemist of Dawn, and all. It seemed like a fairy tale. It seemed almost like it was a fairy tale interpretation in order to introduce basic education of like legendary alchemy lore to kids who are destined to become like alchemists in these alchemy families. Like, we know it was an ancestral tradition. That's the way it was presented to us in the first episode when it came to Rin and her legacy and why she was going to become an alchemist, because like her family has just done this. This is her legacy. But the Alchemist of Dawn had very specific information, which makes me think that, although there's a chance it could be a fairy tale or a legend, that it's more based on something that's in reality that we'll probably see referenced later in the plot, because it was very specifically 100 years ago that he saved the world from monsters and disappeared. We know that very specifically 10 years ago was when that was told by Rin. So it was 10 years prior to what age she is now, and we know that it was 120 years ago. That's what they said in episode 1, was the last time that humans transmutated with a bunch of alchemists. That's what Minato said, I believe. So we're looking at, if it's 10 years ago her father disappeared, and he said in the book 100 years ago was when the Alchemist of Dawn occurred, that makes me think that basically the person that was referenced by Minato in the first episode is the Alchemist of Dawn. That is the legendary person who was this figure who transmuted with a bunch of chemies. So that is interesting, which means that these alchemy factions sealed the chemies probably like 100 years ago. So this has been like a century. These things have been safeguarded by the Alchemist Academy, which also makes sense why, if her father, Kurofuga, just up and left the academy and took all 101 chemies, why he would be branded as a traitor, because this is something that multiple clans have safeguarded and protected for a century now, literally. And the last time somebody transmuted with chemies this much was when the world was threatened by immense danger and monsters, and the only reason this Alchemist of Dawn person did that was to save the world, and then that person disappeared, so the details have now been like sort of lost to history almost. So this is like a really big deal. We're also getting some specific names, aside from the new Chemi that they're introducing, this Odoripa, who's part of his trial, who he has to, with Kamantas, he has to exchange the mass. We're also getting the term Malgam is now being used to refer to humans that fuse with chemies to create monsters. The monsters that are a fusion of human malice and chemies are called Malgams, which is, a reference to the word amalgamation, obviously, which is like a chemical fusion or reaction. And now we're also being told that the villain actually have a technical name now. They're being called the Abyssalis Sisters. So that was a lot of information to cram into like the last 10 minutes of footage. And it's a lot to take in. But I'm very glad that they're doing it. Also, another thing that I want to mention before we get back into the episode is, in episode 1, you guys probably remember me speculating and talking about how one of the reasons why, when I was trying to make a decision of what toku series I wanted to get into reacting to, and experiencing, like, in-depth, and, like, recording reactions and putting them on YouTube and watching the whole series and experiencing it with you guys, and analyzing it and looking at it, was because when I was doing my research of, like, Super Sentai versus Kamen Rider, those seem to be the main two, although there was a temporary time when there was a Metal Hero series, and I know there's like Ultraman and all sorts of like one-off series. It seems like these two are the most commonly compared. One of the reasons that I was drawn to taking a chance on a Kamen Rider series was because I was reading online that the series do tend to get more dark. Seeing somebody in episode 2 who is a bank robber murder his partner or brother or whatever by pushing him off a bridge, even though we didn't see the death, is pretty damn dark for episode 2. And to do that right next to a fucking like playground where kids are playing also just sort of adds to that creepy dark atmosphere. So I am happy that we're seeing more of that dark story plot elements that are being incorporated into episode 2. That was definitely a shocking moment I was not expecting. Like, typically deaths are things that occur very rarely in shows aimed at kids, at least in an American perspective, and when they do, they're either off-screen or they're referenced. It's very rare that it's just like in your face you actually see the crime occur, and 9 times out of 10 it's when it's strictly a very villainous person. And, robbing a bank, I feel like, yeah, you're like a villainous character, but I feel like if you were to logically take it from an adult perspective, I feel like if somebody robs a bank, that is somebody who can be arrested, go to trial, be convicted, serve a sentence, and be rehabilitated and be reintroduced into society and still be a good person. So even then, seeing somebody who's considered like villainous just be like killed so blatantly on screen still feels really dark and in your face and like overly harsh, if that makes any sense. So I am glad that the show is going there, because that means I'm sort of getting that more dark tone of storytelling payoff that I wanted when I went into Kamen Rider versus starting off with like reacting to Super Sentai, if that makes any sense. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back into it, okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. And I just realized I don't think I did a 3, 2, 1, go the last time that I paused. So I do apologize if I did not do a 3, 2, 1, go when I started this up. And like I said, it's been years since I've done reaction videos, so I have to get back into the flow and the swing of things and remember this. I really like this amalgam design for the Skebows Kemi. This is a really cool one. It's simple, but it looks menacing, and I like that. This is hard to take a skateboard and make it a menacing monster, I feel like. Okay, so she's using... Oh, damn! Oh! So she's already won! She's freed the Kemi! That's cool! Well, don't just fucking stand there. Put it in a blank card, dude. Wait a minute! So humans... Even though he's like a normal human, he's almost become attuned to the Kemi. He was able to pull it back in. That's crazy. This girl has a bad habit of just fucking standing there when something's about to slam into her, man. She's not the brightest. Oh, here we come. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of live for it, though. I love the really cheesy speeches. It kind of takes me back to that time period of like the 90s and early 2000s when we used to see really cheesy shonen stuff, you know? Like, I like the innocent, really cheesy speeches of, like, those are my friends! Okay, yeah, so here we go. Steam Hopper seems to be the default hero form, if you will. Which makes sense. It's the one that's, like, on all the main advertisements. Okay, this is quite fun. That's a cool little move. I wonder how they find these places to, like, film in. Because these are, like, they look like they're abandoned buildings. It can't cost them much to be able to film here. Like, in set locations is what I mean. If they stick to places that are, like, abandoned. Oh, shit! Okay, we're seeing the Odori Mantis. Oh, cool! Okay, so are we going to see a new Kamen Rider form then? Or is this just going to be like strictly the CGI Spirit one? Okay. Yep. Alright, that sort of confirms what I was thinking in the first episode, is that his Kamen Rider form that we see, this humanoid like hero figure, is going to be the main form we see him being a hero as. And when he uses the other Kemis, he's going to switch to more of like the CGI spirit representation to use their combat abilities. Wait, Minato? Oh, is that the friggin' motorcycle we saw? Gold Dash. Okay, so when we saw him in the first episode, before we knew it was him, when he had the ring with the Gold Dash was causing like chaos among all the people, he sealed it, so that's how he got it. So the other alchemists, at least Minato, we know for now, can seal the Kemis also. It's not just something that Ichinose can do as the Kamen Rider Gotchard. Okay, so that's cool. I mean, I was telling you guys last time that I was hoping... Who the fuck is this? He had the logo on the back of his jacket, but he had, like, that menacing music, so... I almost wonder if it's going to be another clan of alchemists or like bad guys or something, but that doesn't make any sense. We already have bad guys. I don't feel like having two factions of villains this early on is a good idea. I think that could be too much and too confusing for episode 2. I love the design of the bike. That is so friggin' cool that they, like, will deck out an actual motorcycle to use for filming. Shit! Oh, that is cool! Look at even Gold Dash is freaking out being that high up. What is he doing? Okay, you went too far, buddy. Oh, okay, he's doing a turnaround thing to cut him off. Yeah, and that was a different little... Whoa! How did he even do that? How... Was it like a tire ability? Like, sort of like rubbery? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Here's the finishing move. This is cool. I love this music. It almost kind of reminds me of, like, DDR music. It only plays for a couple seconds, but it's really fun. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be the standard finishing move. Love that little slide at the end. It's really fun. Okay, now he's got the Chemi. He's got Skebows. Skebows. Ha ha! You fuckhead. Ah! And Ichinose just leaves him there for the cops to handle. That's great. Wait! Wait, they're not even going to explain to us how he's going to do it? Is he going to fail? No, he did it! How the fuck did he pass? He didn't even use alchemy. He asked the chemis for the... I'm dead! So is he gonna fail? No, he passes. I mean, he technically did what he was asked to do. But I feel like he was really set up to fail. Like, how else was he supposed to do that? He doesn't know anything about alchemy. They haven't taught him anything, and he doesn't have a ring. Well, I guess I should say he didn't have a ring. Okay, he's got a ring, and it's blue, so it's the same as Rin. Kudos. A big shot alchemist. Yeah. Wait, who is this? Okay, we got 2 more characters. A new student. So they're also students, but they're in red and blue. Yeah, he's the main dude. He's the main buddy. He's the mascot. Oh, and here comes the buzzkill. Well, then fucking teach him. He's got a ring now. He can do this shit. Oh boy, here comes the cheese that's overflowing. For the future. My god! Oh, it's infectious. She can't even help but smile. I think the episode's almost over, so I'll give my thoughts in a minute. Who the fuck is this? Wait, this is the other dude we saw in the opening. A wannabe alchemist calling himself Kamen Rider. So this is... And he's got a green ring. The fuck do the different color rings mean, man? We got different uniforms. One's red, one's blue. We got different rings for alchemy. Appare Bushido. The rival Spanner appears. Okay, so that dude is called Spanner. Bushido watching. Okay. Oh, that's the end of the episode. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was that. All right. Cool. So that was my reaction to episode 2 of Kamen Rider Gotchard. I'm going to go ahead and actually give this episode another 8 out of 10. I feel like I had expectations going into it this time, obviously, because we saw the first episode together, and I feel like it delivered on those things, but I feel like the things that were sort of plagued me in the first episode, which are making me give it a lower than perfect score, have been traded in for different issues for this episode specifically this time around. I'm always going to, give my score on the episode itself, and not as a collective experience. Maybe someday when I finish the series, I'll give like a review on the series overall. But I feel like that was a really good episode, but I think this time what this episode suffered from a little bit was it actually, towards the end, I'm going to say, it gave us too much to absorb. There was a ton of information from the first quarter of the episode through, through the second third of the episode. That real middle section was very hefty, full of information and lore and character information that we were getting. And then, of course, we had, it almost felt like the amalgam encounter with the bank robber took a back seat to everything. I'm very excited that he was able to get Skebows, because it's a new Chemi, but other new Chemis were introduced. Like, we now know that Minato, at least, is capable of sealing the Chemis, because he's the one who gave him Gold Dash. I don't know, did he give it to him, or did he just let him borrow it? I don't exactly understand what happened there. See, that's one of the other reasons why I'm taking another point off, is because it feels like everything happened so fast. I like the fast-paced action and intensity, but I feel like some of these scenes could benefit from slowing down just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit more. To make it a little bit easier for you as the viewer to digest the information and process what's going on before they just start going wham, bam, wham into the next scene and they start throwing 10 more things at you. But who knows, maybe this could just be like an early episode thing, like the creators just want to get the lore out of the way, get it established, get the characters established within the first couple episodes, and then start slowing down and moving into a more focused plotline structure where things unfold a little bit more slowly. I'm hoping so, because like I said in the first episode, at the time of my recording that, and the same for this one, I think like only 41 or 42 episodes are out, and I cannot imagine going at this pace for the plot and developing for like over 40 episodes strong. I feel like so much would happen in that amount of time that it would be crazy to try to remember everything. So hopefully we do get to a point where at least, I'm going to give it a couple more episodes before I really judge it too harshly on pacing anyway. But hopefully we do eventually get to a point where things start to slow down, and they start to become more character-driven and focused, and we start to really see things develop at a more natural and digestible pace, if that makes any sense. I like the chemis that were in this episode. The Gold Dash was really cool. Skebows was cute. It was a fun amalgam monster when it combined with the robber. I like now that we know that it's not just the Abyssalus sisters that the chemis can combine with to become our monster of the week, but it also can be just ordinary people, which I guess makes sense why there's that rule in place by the Alchemist Academy that the chemis are not supposed to come in contact with human malice, because humans, there are bad people everywhere, and chemis and humans would have a very hard time coexisting if that's the case. If Ichinose got what he wanted, which was for the chemis to live freely one day among people, I feel like that could be a recipe for a lot of chaos and disaster, because especially if you want to get into the realistic sense, when you become an adult, you learn that bad people, you don't necessarily know they're bad people until a lot of times the last minute or after the fact. So it's not like bad people like they show on TV are easily identifiable. So I feel like the human world, if they're that easily corrupted as you just find somebody with very powerful negative emotions, it could be sort of like a minefield for chemis, right? You're more among kids or pure-hearted people, that's easier for them to coexist with, but once you start getting into the world of adults, that's when it becomes a lot more difficult for the Kemis to coexist. I feel like that's going to be the problem here. That's the conundrum. How is Ichinose going to come to that realization and figure out a solution to that, I guess, is the question I'm going to ask. But yeah, I'm happy with the Kemis that were featured in this episode. It was very... Ironically, because we had Gold Dash and Skebows, which are, the fucking skateboard and a motorcycle, it is ironic to me that one of my critiques is that the episode felt very fast-paced, because it seemed to be a theme of the episode, was it was very high speed. But yeah, hopefully, and now even at the end of this, I just remembered that they introduced this new character at the end of the episode, who I'm pretty sure we saw in the beginning of the intro for this episode, when they finally played the intro. He almost looked like a Kamen Rider, but he looked almost like a villain character and like a monster too. It was like a pink and purple color scheme with almost like a Two-Face thing going on and the big sword. And we saw at the end of the episode the guy who had the purple and the black jacket. He had the big purple sword. So I'm guessing he is the sort of monstrous rider-looking thing that we saw in the intro at the beginning of this episode. And we know from the preview that his name was Spanner or something like that. So I'm guessing since that's what they teased at the end of the episode with, we're going to see more of him. But then on top of it, they even teased 2 more student characters who Ichinose ran past, and they were just like, who, a new student? And I'm just thinking the same thing, bitch, you're new too, you're new to me. So it's there's so much going on, there's so many characters, there's so much plot being revealed. I'm glad, I'm happy, because I would much rather have the complaint that there's a lot going on than complain that I'm bored and there's not enough going on. I think that is a trap you want to avoid like the plague when it comes to shows like this. So I am at least thankful, and I'm looking at the silver lining. I would rather have an excuse to go back and rewatch the episode, because it is very fun to watch, than to be like, oh my god, that was so boring. I hope I never have to watch that again because I feel like nothing happened. That would be way worse. I would hate to be on that end of the spectrum. But anyways, yeah, so that concludes my reaction and review for episode 2 of Kamen Rider Gotchard. A little bit of a shorter video this time. I feel like after watching episode 1 and getting back into doing reaction videos after all these years, that I'm sort of finding my flow. I know that I personally am self-conscious when it comes to this, that sometimes I end up talking a lot. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I have ADHD, so when I get very excited and I have a lot to say, I do have a tendency to talk very fast-paced, and I'm also from the state of New York, which is a stereotype of us that people tend to talk a lot and talk fast here. So I will work on finding my flow in the future. I feel like last episode's reaction took a little bit too long. It dragged on too much. I think it clocked in just under an hour. Whereas this one, maybe I talked a little bit too fast when I gave my thoughts. So we're going to find a happy medium ground. I think somewhere around 45 minutes would be perfect for these reaction videos. That's enough time for me to watch the episode, stop it a couple times, give thoughts, and then give an overall impression or review at the end of the reaction. So I'll find my flow, but I do feel like I'm getting better at it already with episode 2. But anyways, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of episode 2 of Kamen Rider Gotchard. I will see you guys next time in episode 3. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful day, and until we meet again in the next video, bye-bye.